Okay, so here we are again, Theater One, and I just really want to reiterate that you need to have done the previous assignments in order to have gotten credit for them. And remember, I'm counting absences for Wednesday's class on Friday morning. So if you didn't turn in your work on Friday morning or before Friday morning, then you're not going to get credit for being in class and will be marked as absent. So you really need to make sure you turned in those lesson pieces from Wednesday as soon as you can tonight. So this is Thursday night at 7 p.m. that all that work is due, and that's the character analysis and the breaking down the monologue. And again, you can see right here, this is a good example of breaking down the monologue into different beats. I just used the highlighter tool and different colors of highlighter in the Google Slides functionality to really break down where I have changes in thought. Now, I want you to also list out tactics on your version, so just remember that. But for instance, if I was going through this and I was giving a tactic to each one of these, I would say it always needs to be an action verb. So a good tactic for, well, just that when he came back, it's informative to inform him or to excuse or explain why Bernard and Willie are having this conversation. So right before this, Bernard has said something to Willie that's maybe made him a little upset. So the interesting thing would be to make this next moment or this first moment an action verb that is somehow downplaying the hurtful thing that Bernard just said to Willie and making it something more palatable to Willie. So Bernard is saying, well, just that when he came back, it's trying to get this into the realm of explanation and not, oh, no offense, sir. So Bernard says, well, just that when he came back, then I'll never forget this. It always mystifies me because I thought so well of Biff, even though he'd always taken advantage of me. I loved him, Will, you know? It's revealing something to Willie. He's revealing these little details that he could never forget this one moment because it was so strange and he always loved him. This is something that, to give a little more insight to what he's about to say so that Willie understands where he's coming from. Okay? The next one. And he came back after that month and took his sneakers. Remember those sneakers with University of Virginia printed on them? He was so proud of those, wore them every day. So, and he came back. Now this is like really informative. I mean, he's telling you exactly what he's like. This is so he came back, and then he gets a little distracted with he was so proud of those, wore them every day. This is a little aside or a side thought, and a little more informative again, or a little more setting up the fact that he knows Biff. That's why I put this one in blue to kind of reflect. It's a very similar tactic to the blue up top. And then the yellow is more informative. And he took them down in the cellar and burned them in the furnace. We had a fist fight. It started at least half an hour, just the two of us punching each other down the cellar and crying right through it. I've often thought of how strange it was that I knew he'd given up his life. What happened in Boston, Willie? So I've often thought of how strange. It was that he'd given up his life. So that is again back to similar to like explaining. Like I really thought that was strange, and that's why I'm bringing it up. But now I have to ask you, and then this. So we're switching from explained in the green there to what happened in Boston, Willie. And this can be a little more accusatory. He's going to accuse Willie to ask him, what did you do? Then back to blue, I just bring it up because you asked me. Remember, I care about I care about Biff, care about you. You asked me. It's not anything personal. Then it's going to be more to deflect or to defend or to apologize to. So, well, don't get sore. Now, Willie, don't get sore. This orange section is really more about apologizing and calm Willie down. And then, yeah, to give him what he wants in blue, maybe a little more explaining or a little more revealing. Yeah, I'll go. And then goodbye, Willie. And I'm sorry, you don't always get what you want. Just, again, kind of explaining, and it's not anything that I did to hurt you, but I just want to say, I just wanted to say this, like, there's still time. Life isn't over yet if at first you don't succeed. That's what Bernard is leaving him with. Okay, so now, that all being said, I'm going to use those tactics, and if that's confusing, I'm sorry, but I'm going to use those tactics to help me perform this piece. Okay? So, hold on. Hi, I'm Matt Peoples, and I will be performing a piece from Death of a Salesman. Excuse me. All right. By Arthur Miller. Well, just that when he came back, I'll never forget this. It was always so mystifying to me because I thought as so well of Biff, even though he'd always taken advantage of me. I loved him, Willie, And he came back after that month and took his sneakers. Remember those sneakers with the University of Virginia printed on them? He was so proud of those, wore them every day. He took them down in the cellar and burned them in the furnace. We had a fist fight. It lasted at least half an hour, just the two of us punching each other down in the cellar and crying through it. I've often thought of how strange it was that I knew he'd given up his life. What happened in Boston, Willie? I just bring it up because you asked me. Well, don't get sore. No, Willie, don't get... Yeah, I'm going. Goodbye, Willie. And don't worry about it. If at first you don't succeed, thank you. Okay, so that's it. That is the last video for today, for this week for you. I hope that helps. That shows you how to kind of break it down and really have simple blocking. There's not a lot of movement. It's just a monologue. He's just talking. So you can add some in there. Don't let it distract you from the actual tactics that you're using, the actions. But yeah, there's that. And I hope that helps. Have a great week. Make sure you get this uploaded to Classroom by Saturday at 7 p.m. To get counted present for Friday's class. And I will talk to you soon. Bye now.